Hey y'all, welcome in. Bear Ranger here with a look at the Mezco ONE 12 Thor Ragnarok figure. Now I've shown y'all a little bit about it in a previous video, so now I'm going to go ahead and take a better look at him. Here's Thor with all the stuff he comes with. I'll go over each of the parts in detail later, but I just wanted to give you an overall of the figure. What's cool about these is they use real cloth for the clothing and for, in this case, robes or capes. There's a lot of really intricate detailing in the plastic and stuff. The face sculpt on this is pretty amazing. As you can look at it, you can tell it's CHRIS Hemsworth. Here his eyes are glowing. You come on down and see the detail in the chest armor and the things on his shoulders and all. It's beautifully done. Come down to the waist and it's more incredible detail. Now this is cloth. This here is rubber. It's kind of a stiff rubber. You can kind of bend it a little bit. Has some give. I'm just going to turn a little bit so you can see the detailing on these here. It's raised up and painted. Same on this side. The shins and feet are the same way. Lots of really super nice detail. And the painting on it is gorgeous. I pulled the cape over a little bit so you can see the detail on the back. One thing I really noticed was how nice this looks. The buckle there. Then you can come on down and you see more detailing in the belts and what he's wearing. And then on down to the boots again. Now let's look at the posability. Head goes side to side, of course. Look up, look down. The arms go out just so far. Now this one is kind of hampered by the shield here a little bit. So I don't want to force it though. Of course it goes forward and back, bends at the elbow. There's a little bit of swivel at the shoulder, but not much. On the hands, you can go down a bit, up a bit, not really in and out too much, but they can swivel. There's very little twisting in the torso. The legs can come forward a little bit. See, remember now, you have this as rubber here, and I don't want to give all that much. But they do pose. Of course, at the knee, there's double joint. Poses pretty good. You can see here the pants are actually cloth. That is so cool. Little bit of swivel. Not that much. On the feet, they're pretty tight on this. A little bit down, a little bit up. Got some little bit of side to side. Of course, the twist pretty good. So in some ways, the posing on this figure is kind of limited. But then again, considering you have rubber clothing and you want to keep the joints from showing up as much as possible. It's like on the feet, you can't even hardly tell it. Now you can see it on the arms though. But he's still pretty good. The head is on a ball joint. Let me switch out a little bit. And put this head on. A little bit tight. There we go. Of course, it has the same freedom of movement. There's the head with the helmet. It's a little tight. Now just notice these move. That is a nice touch. One thing I noticed when you're putting the head on, you have to watch out for this cloth right here, because it wants to get up under the head that you're putting on. A little hard to move out of the way. Let me try this. There we go. It went on okay. At first I was wondering about these here. See, this is the swords that are in the sheath, but it only goes down to that far. It doesn't go the full length of the sword. Let me get one of the swords. So see, that's what they are. And you can see how much longer the sword is. So I'm just going to say that they did them like that to keep them from sticking out too much. And that when you do the cape, kind of like that, it covers up where they cut off. They fit on right there. Then you got this piece. You stick that on. And that can be when he has the swords drawn, so you don't see the handles. This is a fist. This isn't. Let me change this hand out. And put a hand on that can hold the sword. These tiny pieces are awkward to handle with my big hands. But anyway, let's go ahead and try this. Like I said, it sure is awkward with these small pieces, but I had to cut away for a minute. And you see there's a hole there for the sword. And I tried it like this. I tried putting the corner in and then pushing. And if you can see that, it went in not too bad. Now let's try this one. Put the corner in, kind of push down and in. That's being a little tight. There we go. I'm sorry if that thing went out of focus for a little bit, but I hope you can see how they worked. Instead of trying to put the swords and the hammer or club on the hands while the hands are still on the figure, you could just do it before you put the hands on. So go ahead and get them on there. And then take that and put it on the figure. Now that we got the swords in, of course you can posing using the swords. Now let me switch out the head right quick. Put this back on. I keep messing with these things because I'm trying to get used to them. Okay, there we go. So there's his head with the helmet. That don't look too bad. Now one thing I would really like is if they did one of the heads where he's like yelling or screaming and he's got his mouth open and he's angry and furious and stuff like that. But they just have more fairly neutral expressions. Even on this one, he looks a little bit mad, but not that much. You know, where his eyes are glowing. Right now he's wearing the hands that are holding the swords. But then he has two other sets. You can interchange them out. On the left, he's got his fists clenched. On the right, he's got his hands open like he's getting ready to grab something. Of course, you can switch them out and mix them up. You could have a fist in one hand, and then on the other hand, you can have him holding a sword, or reaching out to grab something and have the sword. And you can also switch out the shield and the club. So let me take these off. That was pretty easy. Then if you want, you can take that off, put that back on. Here's the club. It does have a nice detail on it. You can see the ribbing in the handle and the paint job. It makes it look old and been used. It's not like brand spanking new. Now I had some trouble trying to put it in there like I did the sword. But I tried this. I tried to push it in there under the thumb and then kind of rotate it a little bit to see if it would roll up under the hand. That kind of worked. Let me try that again. Push the thumb out of the way. There we go. You'll probably have to work out your own way to do this. I am so awkward at this. Okay, there's a club, which looks pretty good. Now here's the shield. Now that shield, that is so nice. I love the detailing in that. On the back, it's got two rubber pieces. I had to cut away for a bit to play with the shield some. Now, you can use the hand that's holding a sword, but I think I found that you might can do this better. Get that in there so the pieces wrap around the forearm. Then try to work that hand up in this loop right here. If you can see it. See, there's a loop here. The hand can go under it. It'll help stabilize it some. So he's holding it that way. And you can turn the shield on the straps right here. The shield will turn. So you can have it pointing down. You can turn it up like that. There he is with club and shield. Now one thing, you can use the hands for the sword. You got to try to get that loop up in there a little bit, if you can. While he's holding a shield and the club, I went ahead and put the back on here where the swords are shown in the sheaths. I put the head on that has the glowing eyes because you have this piece here which will go over his forearm. You see there's a gap in it. And you can wrap that around it a little bit. It's a little awkward. But there he is, powering up. It's the only since you one, they didn't have two of them. That would have been cool if there had been one over here too. There's that. I think that's a nice touch though. Now a word about the stand that comes with it. It's got a single peg. On the bottom of the feet, you have these holes. So if you can get that peg lined up with the hole, a bit tight. But once you get it on there, you can pose him. And I hate posing figures sometimes. He's not all that secure on there. Okay, after much fiddling and messing with it, there he is, sort of, kinda, in a pose. You can see he's got one leg up. And he's standing on the stand. That's a bit awkward looking. Now this stand is also a plug. Turn it to the back. Now before you do this, you may want to put a rag or a trash bag or something down to catch that little plug when it pops out. Because if you're above a hard surface, that little plug could bounce and ain't no telling where it would roll to. So you take the end of the stand and push it into the hole. And when you do, that right there pops out. Then you can take the end of the stand and plug it in the hole. Or it fits pretty good. Once you've got it in the stand nice and secure, you can then pose it. See, it's hinged here, here, up here. Then these open. I'll show you that a little bit. So these open and close so it'll hold a figure. And then it moves up here. You see, I've got these open a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in there. Then close them. So see, they're holding him pretty good. But here he is, jumping up in the air and getting ready to hurl some lightning. That's the cool thing about these stands. You can put your figure in there and pose it all kind of ways. Here's Thor getting ready to give the Rhino a big electrified whammo. You was expecting the Hulk, maybe? I like that Rhino figure. That is so cool. In another video, I'd mentioned this bag. This will come in real handy for putting in all these little parts. The head and the hands. And if you have the little plug out so that you can use a stand, be sure and put that little plug in there so you don't lose it. Seal it up, and there you go. The Mezco 112 Thor Ragnarok Thor is a fantastic figure. If you can get one, I highly recommend it. Bear Ranger signing out. I'd like to thank y'all for stopping by for my look at the Mezco 112 Thor Ragnarok Thor. Y'all take care now and come back.